just a robot.
You guys have been waiting a while for this, but we're finally getting to it. All versions of Goku versus all versions of Superman Part 4. That's right, Part 4. So if you haven't seen the other 3 parts yet, I highly recommend you check them out before you see this video. Otherwise, you'll probably be confused. And I really mean that. I was getting a lot of questions on Part 3 that were answered in the first 2 parts. We have already covered all the different versions of Goku from original Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, and the Goku from Dragon Ball Evolution. We have also covered all the different versions of live-action Superman, all the different versions of animated Superman, Communist Superman, and Golden Age Superman. But in this video, we'll be going over all the different versions of Goku from Dragon Ball Super, and all the different versions of Goku from the Dragon Ball games. And yes, that does include the Goku from Dragon Ball Heroes, because Dragon Ball Heroes was a video game. And we will also be going over the much more powerful versions of comic book Superman. Let's start off with Super Saiyan God Goku. Super Saiyan God Goku does appear to have a new ability, regeneration, which is something we haven't seen Goku do without senzu beans until then. Some people may say this is outside help considering you have to do a whole ritual to get this form, but Goku's body learned from the experience and now he can use it whenever he wants. Super Saiyan God Goku is so powerful that just the shockwaves from his punches were destroying multiple planets and even stars. And keep in mind, this was him holding back. Many people have said that Super Saiyan God Goku is universal, but others say he's not. Why do some people say this? Because they never seen him destroy a universe. But Goku never tried to destroy a universe, and Goku's punches are pretty much his weakest attack. Also, last but not least, I didn't see Golden Age Superman destroy a universe. Yes, he did survive an attack that was said to have all the energy of the antimatter universe, but that's just a statement, just like Goku destroying the universe. I'm being fair here, guys. Yeah, I'm using statements for Goku, but I'm doing the same for Superman, so stop complaining. So do I think that Super Saiyan God Goku is universal? No, I think he's much more than that. Keep in mind, these were just his punches. And several characters were not only afraid they were going to destroy the universe, but the entire macrocosm, which is a couple of universes. And this goes for both the anime version of Super Saiyan God Goku and the manga version of Super Saiyan God Goku. Plus, the anime is canon to this, so I can use the Pikkon speed feat, making him quadrillions of times the speed of light. Now, I didn't really want to use this speed feat for GT Goku, but I'm going to use it for Super Saiyan God Goku. Mainly because there's not really a good speed feat to go off of for this version of Goku. Plus, he's most likely way faster than this. But this is without including the Super Saiyan multipliers, or all the training Goku did. Super Saiyan God Goku is far too strong for Golden Age Superman to even hurt. And he's too slow to even keep up with him. Any of Super Saiyan God Goku's attack, even a basic punch, would one-shot Golden Age Superman. Super Saiyan God Goku is also above Silver Age Superman, God of Steel Superman, Post-Crisis Superman in his base form, Kingdom Come Superman, Rebirth Superman, and even Superman 1 million. Here's why. Silver Age Superman and Post-Crisis Superman are all basically on the same level, considering Golden Age Superman went toe-to-toe with Silver Age Superman and Post-Crisis Superman. While I do think Golden Age Superman is the weakest out of the 3, the other 2 are not above him enough to make any real difference. Kingdom Come Superman has been shown to be vastly stronger than Post-Crisis Superman, but that's pretty much the best feat we have to go off of. Even if he was 10 times as powerful as Post-Crisis Superman, it really wouldn't make a difference. When Post-Crisis Superman was first using the Theta state, he was adapting up and becoming stronger. He first turned into Kingdom Come Superman, and then Superman 1 million, heavily implying that Superman 1 million is more powerful than Kingdom Come Superman. As for God of Steel Superman, I understand just how powerful the Black Racer is, but God of Steel Superman doesn't exactly scale to him, and he doesn't really have any good feats to take down Super Saiyan God Goku. Rebirth Superman is pretty much just a combination of Golden Age, Silver Age, and Post-Crisis Superman. So basically, Rebirth Superman, God of Steel Superman, and Superman 1,000,000 are just amped up versions of Superman we have already used, but their power boosts aren't great enough to make any real difference against the fight with Super Saiyan God Goku. Injustice Superman may seem like a fodder version of Superman at first, but at the peak of his power, he was going to use He-Man's sword, I am not making this up, among other powers to rewrite all of Injustice, which includes multiple universes. This does give him the busting power to go toe-to-toe with Super Saiyan God Goku, but unfortunately he doesn't have any good speed feats to keep up with Super Saiyan God Goku. But it's time to bring in the big guns now, like Superboy Prime. And yes, he is an alternate version of Superman. He's not Superman's son or clone or anything like that. As I explained in Part 3, the Green Lanterns are quadrillions of times the speed of light. And Superboy Prime took on both the Green Lantern Corps and the Yellow Lantern Corps, along with Superman and Supergirl. But his speed is not the important part. Superboy Prime is Multiversal Plus, or Infinite Universal. You see, Superboy Prime and Time Trapper are the same person. Time Trapper is just a future version of Superboy Prime. And by the way, Time Trapper was capable of erasing all possible futures in the multiverse. And that contains infinite universes. He is the very embodiment of the end of time. So why am I not using this guy instead of Superboy Prime? Well, it's because Superboy Prime defeated him. Superboy Prime's speed feats may not be that impressive, but his busting power allows him to easily stomp Super Saiyan God Goku. Now we move on to Super Saiyan God Blue Goku, or Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan as it used to be called, from the Golden Frieza saga. And no, it's not actually called that. I just like to call it that myself. Goku did a lot of training with Whis, but it's really hard to say just how much stronger he got after the training. But at bare minimum, he did get 50 times stronger. Because as its original name implies, the Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan transformation is a Super Saiyan God that has gone Super Saiyan. And they do confirm this in the Tournament of Power, and in the manga it's said to be over a 10 times multiplier. But that multiplier isn't enough to make Goku infinite multiversal. So Superboy Prime takes the win again. When Goku fought Hit for the first time, he used the Kaioken times 10, giving him another 10 times multiplier. And that's not even including all the training he did with Whis. And this version of Goku is so fast that he even broke out of Hit's time skip. But in the manga, it's explained that Goku only did this because he had more ki than Hit. So Superboy Prime takes the win once again. Now we could move on to Goku from the Goku Black saga, but who really cares about him? Instead, let's talk about Goku Black. As I said before, all that is required to be considered a version of Goku or Superman is 100% of their DNA or their soul. And Goku Black may not have Goku's soul, but he does have 100% of his DNA. Goku Black in his Super Saiyan Rosé form is even stronger than Super Saiyan God Blue Kaioken times 10 Goku when he fought against Hit. He can turn his hand into an energy blade, or he can turn it into an energy scythe to rip holes open in the multiverse, bringing over alternate versions of himself. Or at least I think that's what's happening. Not even Goku Black is 100% sure what's going on.
What the hell is that? Good question. To be honest, I'm not sure myself. Have I sliced a hole to another universe? Or to the distant past or future? All I know now is that my strength surpasses my own understanding.
But Superboy Prime defeated his future self, who could defeat an infinite amount of Goku Blacks. So once again, he takes the victory. Now remember, I am allowing Goku to fuse. Because if I didn't let Goku fuse with Vegeta, or Goku Black fuse with Zamasu, I wouldn't be able to use Cosmic Armored Superman, who's technically a fusion. Now, Super Saiyan God Blue Vegigog is a lot smarter than previous fusions of Goku and Vegeta. Unlike the last two fusions, he's not a goofball. Instead of getting the arrogance of Vegeta with the ignorance of Goku, he's a lot more mentally stable, and is a much better fighter. Merged Zamasu is a whole nother beast. While he's not as powerful as Super Saiyan God Blue Vegigog, He has insane regeneration abilities, but I wouldn't say he has low-tier god regeneration. After all, in the manga, when his soul was destroyed, he didn't regenerate. But in the video games he did, but we're gonna get to the video game versions of Goku later on in this video. But if you do manage to completely destroy his physical body, he will merge with the universe and start infecting other timelines. But even if he infected every single timeline, Superboy Prime could still defeat him. And yes, I know, I hear you guys typing in the comments right now. But what if Goku used the Hakai like he did in the manga? The thing is, there are different versions of Superman who have survived the Omega Beam, which is pretty much the DC's equivalent of the Hakai. While Superboy Prime hasn't done this himself, he's far stronger than different versions of Superman who have survived the Omega Beam. Also, I don't want to treat the Hakai as a no-limits fallacy. So once again, Superboy Prime takes the victory. Now, Goku at the beginning of the Tournament of Power is 100 times stronger than when he fought against Golden Frieza for the first time. Here's why. Golden Frieza is stronger than Super Saiyan God Blue. At the end of Dragon Ball Z, it is confirmed that when characters are dead and have a halo above their head, they're slightly stronger. And Goku is just as strong as Golden Ghost Frieza in his base form. But Goku keeps getting stronger throughout the Tournament of Power. Jiren is confirmed to be stronger than any opponent they have ever faced up to that point, and that's without using Ultra Instinct. Goku using Super Saiyan God Blue Kaioken times 20, along with the Super Spirit Bomb, was absolutely nothing compared to Jiren. But Goku, after mastering Ultra Instinct, was able to just barely beat Jiren using Ultra Instinct. Keep in mind, Jiren shook infinite time and space just by powering up, and he broke out of Hit's time coffin. But even if we want to say Jiren shook the equivalent of infinite universes, shaking something isn't the same as destroying something. So Master Ultra Instinct Goku might be able to go toe-to-toe with Superboy Prime, but eventually his Ultra Instinct would run out of time. I am going to skip the Broly movie. Why? Well, it's because Broly isn't even as strong as Jiren. Seth the programmer already did an entire video about this, but I do have one more argument to add. Broly could have killed Golden Frieza in an hour. Jiren could do that in less than 5 minutes without even trying. I guess Superboy Prime is all it takes to beat every single version of Goku. After all, we got all the way to the end of Super. But now we're gonna move on to the video game versions of Goku. Here is where things get really good. Let's start with Dragon Ball Fusions. Dragon Ball Fusions Goku should be relative to Trunks, who in his base form was a threat to all of the timelines, of which there are infinite. Fusions Goku would most likely win against Superboy Prime, due to his proper fighting style. Superboy Prime is completely ruthless and has an untrained fighting style. He more so focuses on combat power. And let's not forget about all the fusions Goku can do in this game, such as 5-way fusions, and even a fusion with Beerus. Oh my god, finally someone defeated Superboy Prime. Now we move on to 5th Dimensional Imp Superman. Due to his existence as a 5th Dimensional Imp, or at least half of one, he is 5D, but he doesn't really have any feats aside from this one. But unfortunately, he's disqualified, because he's not actually a different version of Superman. He's one of Superman's distant descendants. He doesn't have all of Superman's DNA or his soul, so he is disqualified. I just brought him up so people wouldn't scream about it in the comments. Now we move on to Strange Visitor Superman. He was capable of traveling and surviving in a realm that even Mr. Mxyzptlk thought was dangerous. Now, I should probably explain that this is 5th dimension in a spatial sense. None of that 4th dimension of time crap. Someone who can destroy infinite 3D universes is below a 4th dimensional being, who is below a 5th dimensional being. So Strange Visitor Superman takes the victory against Dragon Ball Fusion's Goku. So if we want to use any version of Goku that is below 5th dimensional, they're not going to stand a chance against Strange Visitor Superman. So let's move on to Xenoverse Goku. I mean Xenoverse Goku. Because X makes the Z sound. Xenoverse Goku was capable of fighting against Demigra, a being whose existence was beyond time and space, in a multiverse that contains infinite universes. Demigra was also a threat to all of the worlds, and that does include Speed's world, which is a world that views the Dragon Ball universes as completely fictional. Heroes Boo was also noted as being extra-dimensional by Android 16. Strange Visitor Superman lacks the skill or resources Xenoverse Goku has at his disposal. But Strange Visitor Superman does have the strength and speed to at least keep up with him. It's a common misconception that Strange Visitor Superman is stronger than Mixie, or is 6-dimensional, as Mixie only states that the realm he traveled to is more dangerous than the 5th dimension, not that he would be incapable of traveling there himself. And considering that Mixer Mixie destroyed the entire 5th dimension multiple times, it wouldn't be strange to suggest that he could go there himself. So Xenoverse Goku just barely takes the win. Now we move on to Theta State Post-Crisis Superman. By mastering the Turquoism Ral and reaching the Theta State, Superman was capable of defeating Dominus, who is a Lord of Order powerful enough to seal away Kismet and threaten the entire multiverse. Earlier on, Kismet was able to amp Superman to the extent that he was able to overpower Imperiex Prime, who was stated to have the power of a 12th and 3rd dimensional Big Bang. 12th dimensional is a lot more than 5th dimensional, so Theta State Post-Crisis Superman takes the victory. And now it's time that we use the most powerful version of Goku, Capsule Corp Goku. He defeated Xenoverse Goku in their final battle, and he has access to the Hakai. But he still is immeasurably weaker than Theta State Post-Crisis Superman. He's even less than a subatomic particle compared to him. And this is just one version of Superman who can defeat every single version of Goku. Here's Webcam Parrot to explain 4 more versions of Superman who can defeat every version of Goku.
Now onto our special segment of all the Supermen who take Goku behind the back alley and give him the business. From weakest to strongest, now let's talk about Quantum Superman. It's a common misconception that he created the cosmic armor. He did not. It's pretty explicitly shown that the Monitor Mind created the cosmic armor. What he did do is merge Ultraman and Superman together and send them up to the cosmic armor so that they could pilot it. He was also completely unharmed by the Monitor ships that were a threat to Limbo, which is a realm that views the God Sphere, an already immensely transcendent archetypal realm, as fictional stories. It should be noted that Quantum Superman is a pacifist, but he still has plenty of ways in which he could defeat any version of Goku non-violently. Many of the realms that Quantum Superman could send him to would simply be too complex or far away for Goku to ever return from. And I know, some of you are going to say, but Goku is the instant transmission. That's cool and all, but there is a limit to how far that can really take him. When he gets yoinked across distances that would make the entire Dragon Ball cosmology look like a skin cell in comparison, he isn't ever coming back from that. Next is a personal favourite of mine, Darkseid Superman. Darkseid Superman was stolen away as a baby by the new gods Metron and Darkseid. He would grow up on Apokolips, raised by Darkseid to be his ultimate weapon in the war with New Genesis. He would go on to eventually defeat Orion and True Form Darkseid. As mentioned before, the God Sphere, home of Apokolips and New Genesis, is an archetypal realm of immense power, but even compared to the residents of these places, Darkseid and Orion are in another league. Gods amongst gods. Darkseid has repeatedly been shown to be a threat to the Source and all of existence below it. Orion is destined to defeat him, and they frequently trade wins and losses. The Source is like an infinite reserve of unimaginable power to most new gods, but for beings like Darkseid, Orion, and this version of Superman, it is a very achievable degree of power. The gap in strength between even Capsule Corp Goku and Darkseid Superman is too big for Goku to be able to do anything to him. Superman, having grown up on Apokolips, is bloodthirsty and ruthless enough to the extent that he wouldn't even give Goku the time to realize how boned he is. Now, onto a Superman I'm sure a lot of you have been waiting for. Cosmic Armor Superman. And yes, Cosmic Armor Superman is Superman. I've seen people try and argue that he's a robot and therefore not Superman. This isn't true. The Thought Robot is directly stated to be the literal conceptual embodiment of the story of Superman, and contains 2 different versions of Superman inside him. So if anything, he's more Superman than any of the others in this video. As for his actual fighting capabilities, Cosmic Armor Superman is a self-assembling hyperstory that constantly adapts its own plot to ensure that it always wins. This alone should be enough to deal with any version of Goku, but on top of this, he also scales to one of DC's most powerful villains, Mandrake. Mandrake was a threat to all of creation, and was capable of fighting with cosmic armor despite his plot hacks. His mere glance was causing space and time to crumble, and even prior to becoming Mandrake, he would seal away the Great Darkness, a being that is equal to the Presence. And finally, we have reached what is undeniably the most powerful version of Superman ever printed in DC Comics history. Milkman Man. And no, I am not joking. Milkman Man is the creation of Retcon Corporation, a business whose only role is to ensure that DC remains entertaining so that a group of gods known as the Eonymous don't destroy everything. In order to perform this, Retcon work with the writers and utilize narrative adjustments in order to change any and all realities to their liking. Milkman Man was created as a copy of Superman designed to force people to drink their special narrative-altering milk. However, despite having access to a button that could wipe the entire canvas of DC clean, they were completely unable to stop Milkman Man once he became a rogue narrative that was a threat to all of DC continuity as a whole. The Monitor Mind is a being who is responsible for the creation of both Mandrake and Cosmic Armor, and views both as insignificant infinitesimal specks in comparison to itself. But even it is subject to the narrative adjustments of Retcon Corp. It's not hard to see how outmatched Goku would be against this kind of character.
Man, I can't believe this is all over. It's hard to believe I've been working on this whole thing for over a year. I would like to give a huge shout out to Webcam Parrot for helping me with this whole thing. A link to his channel will be down below. I would like to give a shout out to the Blind Bard for fixing the audio. And a shout out to Dennington for editing this whole thing together. I would like to give a big thank you to all my donors on Patreon, and to everybody watching this video. Because without you viewers, I wouldn't be anything on YouTube.
My eyes have seen the glory of the cleansing of YouTube, debunking SJWs and feminazis too. We criticize reactionists in hopes they get the boot. Just the robot marches on.